Hi, I'm Khushbu Soni. I am the founder of The Mainstream. Today, on our topic of marketing series, I'm super excited to have my guest. We have Arpan Majee. He's a dynamic marketing professional, currently leading marketing and market research for the financial services and insurance segment business unit for Quantify, pioneering applied AI and a data science company. Arpan has a solid, rare blend of techno-functional expertise. Arpan serves as a key interface between product, sales, and integrated marketing, translating technical capability into market-ready strategies. From deep dives in competitive analysis, product positioning, and thought leadership to managing product marketing for GenAI-powered document processing platform, he is shaping the advanced AI products that resonate with business decision makers. Arpan, it is an absolute pleasure. Thank you for joining us on the Mainstream on the series of dialogues that we're having with marketers, and I'm super excited to having this conversation with you today.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be part of this series, and looking forward to have the chat with you.
Fantastic. Likewise, Arpan. So, Arpan, you've had an interesting journey from working as data scientist for a Fortune 100 tech giant to now leading marketing and market research at Quantify. What drew you into this space, and especially focusing on AI products and offering in the BFSI sector?
Great question. First off, let me start off just by saying that I have always seen myself as a balanced brain person, which means someone who can balance the right and left brain capabilities. So while I had an engineering degree and landed a job as a data scientist, I always had a knack of job roles that had a bit more artistic challenge or creative freedom. Like I was fortunate enough to get the opportunity to work with the marketing analytics team in my first job with a Fortune tech company as a data scientist. So while I was analyzing customer sentiments and doing regression analysis, I also got the first-hand experience to see how AI and data science is impacting marketing decision making, the narration building, and the campaign management. And then I did have a short stint in pre-sales role in an international company. But finally, to cut the long story short, when I finally got the job opportunity at Quantify, the ask was very clear that I have to set the marketing and market research team from scratch. And it really felt like it's a role that offered exactly what I wanted. As a company has an AI first approach of problem solving, leading AI cloud provider for leading hyperscalers. And the role required me to bridge the gap between the product R&D, sales, and marketing functions. It felt like a role that will allow me to build on my prior experience in marketing as well as my data science and AI. I had a certification in AWS at that moment, and also will help me grow as a product marketer, which was a field I was really keen on developing my skill sets. And as you asked, BFSI, why as an industry, I would say it has historically always been an industry which has been early adopter of AI and cloud tech. If you see, like, it has been known to have the biggest transformation budget always. So I couldn't have asked for a better industry to work on, to be at the bleeding edge of technology. So that's how I have decided my career till now to be in the product marketing.
Oh, fantastic. And Arpan, in your role, you're at the intersection of product sales and marketing. So how do you kind of balance the needs of tech team, the product team, sales team, and how do you kind of ensure that the brand messaging stays clear and consistent across all channels?
So my understanding again is that I feel my role and this type of roles, one needs to have a generalist mindset, to succeed in such roles where every day it will be like a new job, a new challenge. And all my career, thanks to being part of various startups, I think this has come to me naturally. So if I have to point out, the nature of the work changes rapidly and you have to be able to accustomed with that. And then, every department will have their own priorities, their own target and certain set of expectations from each other. And here in a dotted reporting framework, what I have to do is I need to have a very deep understanding of what each of them they're trying to achieve, what it is that they need to achieve at the end of the year, being able to communicate what they need and essentially communicate what I can bring to the table to help them achieve their goals. That is very, very important. And also in this role, you are expected to be resourceful. You should know people who can help things done very, very quickly and having the empathy to understand multiple point of view. Maybe sometimes marketing team will say that I can't do it in 5 days, but you need to have an empathy that what it means for the sales team to achieve something in 5 days and then find that workaround, that middle ground. So having empathy from both sides will be very, very important, as well as to communicate the expectations to other team in a language that they understand. So that is where having this expertise, or I would say knowledge of each other's work, is very important, and these qualities will go a long way to ensure that you have a very seamless collaboration with all these teams. And that is, I feel that is a very, very important part of the role. And if I have to talk about some of the tangible part, and which I have also learned along the way, is that you need to set very, very clear resume when you work on cross-functional roles. Who will be responsible for what and where your role comes in. Set up a very proper approval mechanism where you need the approval from marketing, from sales, from R&D, and then you have to have the trust in your team. You have to build a team of high quality individuals where you can rely on them, because you can't have like more than two hands and two set like a pair of eyes. So all these things are very important, and you have to ensure that in some cases, especially you talk about the communication. How do you ensure that a communication is streamlined? So I have to ensure that we have taken a very central role in the communication. What goes out in social media, what goes out in other messaging platforms, and we have the buy-in from the leadership team in across all these things. So where you have to take a central role, where you have to give up some of the responsibilities to other teams, these things has to be set up very, very clearly to ensure things go on without you being the bottleneck in the individual processes. Yeah.
Right. Fantastic. That is really great of how you're really contributing to, work across the teams and put the right messaging out. So I think let's talk about the big word, which is AI. So Gen AI is, definitely gone beyond buzzword, I would say. But, a lot of people are still kind of figuring out their ways of using Gen AI. We understand that you're working on real world applications. See, how do you, go about positioning these solutions in such a high stakes regulated industry like financial services and insurance?
Yeah. So we have invested in building R&D capabilities and developing various patents for our ML models much before the GenAI trends started surfacing. So what I mean is, there is an R&D team that spent very long time perfecting our products and offerings. And only once you have a very good product, then comes your marketing and your communication part. And then there is a lot of work that goes on in terms of identifying what is a perfect market segment, customer research, persona research, identifying the right industry use cases to invest on. So there is a lot of complicated market research work that goes on, before we identify where should we market our product, what will be the messaging, and how should we build and improve our products in general. So we focus on identifying and solving what matters, which by the way is our tagline also, solving what matters for our customers, and build out our solution catalog based on this view rather than focusing on what is going on in the market. And it happens that when we invest in R&D for so long, and once it comes out as a market trend, we are in the right time in the market with the right messaging, with the right content, get to like win all the awards and solve the customer problems at the right time. As you rightly mentioned, another aspect is a highly regulated industry. That's obviously a challenge for an industry like BFSI, and we have to ensure that we are leading the market. We do ensure that we are leading the market in terms of data security, as well as have the right certification and compliance in the place for our product. But however, if we talk about the marketing side of it, the communication side of it, as a marketer, your job is to build the trust for your offerings. You have to ensure that you have the certification, you have the communication, and you're building the trust, and ensure your target audience is informed and assured that your data is in the safe hands. This has always been a key focus in our messaging and communication, on top of the AI bells and whistles that we obviously have.
Got it. And you've also been working on preparing thought leadership content and designing discussions for discussions around the say formats like roundtable, meetups, etc. How do you kind of ensure that the technical content resonates with senior business leaders, and who may not have a deep tech background? So how do you kind of drive that?
Right. Again, I mean, a very relatable question for me. So our customers can have varying level of technological background. So while we work with CTOs and head of data science teams, we also have buyers who will not come from a very deep tech background, but 20 years in the industry. So one of the core requirement for my team, and I do set this as a process also, is to build content that resonates with the target customer group. So this means that we need to have a very good understanding of the customer persona, their journey, the workflow journey of that particular persona that comes into play. How do you build content that works with that group? Your themes and content for a CXO roundtable, for example, can vary very widely when you are talking to, let's say, the IT heads of the company. So across the sales cycle also, or to different buying journey, these things keep changing. One rule of thumb that we follow is that we work on to ensure that I'm adding value to the reader. Whoever is my target audience, first understand who is this person and then add value to the reader. That consumer has to come out of the content getting a bit of more value than what he or she entered in. Yeah. So once you have a good understanding of what the reader wants to learn and what value he or she is trying to extract, you'll be able to connect better with them. And then the rest of the part is how do you build it, build the content accordingly, and then you create your content plan that works. So I think, yeah, understanding the persona and then building, keeping their need in mind is the most crucial part.
Okay, interesting. So, Arpan, sales enablement and analyst relations are often behind the scenes, but always critical functions. What's your approach to kind of spot sales teams that are building industry credibility through awards and analyst engagements?
So yes, absolutely. Supporting the sales team succeed is one of the most crucial job in an industry where it is as competitive and rapidly evolving as ours. Identifying the right target account, keeping the sales team up to date with the latest market intelligence, providing critical market research, building sales enablement assets are very, very important activities to ensure that your sales team is delivering the best. It has a very good potential, very high potential to increase brand awareness and building trust with potential buyers. Because like the communication does not come from you, the recognition comes from a third party, from an analyst. It works a very long way to ensure to build recognition in the mind of your buyer. And I'm fortunate to play my role in that to ensure that the BFSI business unit won some of the major recognition in the market from leading analyst firms like IDC and Frost and Sullivan and many more. While the role can be behind the scenes sometimes, but if done rightly, its impact can be oversized. And I have seen many leaders mentioning that they have seen visible improvements in the brand perception of Quantify due to this activity of analyst relations. So yeah.
Superb. And Arpan, with Gen AI evolving so quickly, how do you stay ahead of the curve in terms of market research and product messaging? And also because there's so much that's happening on social media, and even from a marketing standpoint, everything's become so easy. What trends are you watching closely in the next 12 to 18 months with us?
So what I found out is keeping our head straight and trying and understanding what customer wants next is the best way. Everything comes after that. So having a very close eye on the customer feedback that we are getting, what can be the new and evolving use cases that we can focus on, investment areas, these things helps the most. And additionally, as I told you, I am very, very close to the analyst relation activities. So working with our analyst, we need to keep ourselves updated with the latest research reports coming from analyst firms, regularly talking to analysts and experts from like external point of view. That also helps. So yeah, you have to be an avid reader of what's happening next. That is very, very important in this industry. And also keep a keen ear, I would say, to understand and listen to your customers, and the trends I am looking forward to the most, I'll say, is agentic AI. I'm looking forward to the revolution that it is bringing in the industry and how it is redefining the autonomous decision making. Yeah, it can be a topic for like subsequent discussion, but many AI stalwarts, including Microsoft boss Satya Nadella, they're very bullish about agentic AI and how it can change the work. I'm looking forward to how it is going to do the same for the BFSI business unit. So yeah, I think that can be my input about it.
Okay, cool. Fantastic. This has been a good conversation, Arpan. Thank you for joining us today for At the Mainstream. I have a small segment which I always like to do after my interview, which is a rapid fire segment. I have a few questions that I would want to ask you as a rapid fire. Whatever comes first in your mind is something that we would love to hear. So, are you ready?
Yeah, I'll try my best. Let's see.
Okay, super. What's the first app you check in the morning?
Reddit.
All right. Okay. One GenAI tool you can't live without outside your work tools.
I would say Copilot. And if I have to like add a couple of comments about it, what I have seen is there are other GenAI tools from ChatGPT to Gemini and everything, which is very good when you work. But if you want to have a conversation, Copilot has a very good conversational AI where you can just talk about things. If you are thinking about something, how can you build a particular report? Or let's say right now, if you're studying about something, you don't understand it and you want to talk to an expert. So from that point of view, I have seen Copilot working very, very well from a conversational point of view. Yeah.
Super. Describe your job in a movie title.
Okay. If you have seen this latest Netflix movie, Guns and Gulabs, so I feel that in that movie there were two villages who were constantly fighting with each other, and there was this bar, where all the villagers will come and then eat peacefully. So I think my job role very closely relate to that bar in the middle, where you have to like ensure that things don't break down.
Nice. If you weren't in marketing or tech, what would you be doing?
I love cooking And I think I could have been tried my luck being a chef had I not been a marketer. Yeah.
All right. What's your go-to song or playlist when you're working late?
Yeah. As a bong, I must say Akla Chalo Re.
Sorry?
Akla Chalo Re. Do you know the song Akla
Oh,
Chalo
oh
Re?
yes, of course
Yeah.
I do.
You have to work
Okay.
alone and like you are all like,
Oh,
you are in a very sad state of mind, but you have to encourage yourself to like do what's next.
it's a very beautiful song.
Thank you.
Lovely. One marketing buzzword you wish people would stop using.
I would say AI enabled. While we are working in an AI firm, but I am seeing AI enabled being used as a term for everything from a grocery like product to I don't know, like everywhere I'm seeing AI enabled where probably AI may not make as much sense. So from the business outcome, we are moving to like just letting people know that we have AI. So I think
Right.
that can stop.
Fantastic. Great. You did well, Arpan, on the
Thank
rapid
you.
fire
Thank
as
you.
well. But great. This has been a great conversation. Thank you once again for joining us at the mainstream. And I look forward to having many more such conversations with you in
It has been my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, Kushwa.